Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Task Force Admiral, a game which is entering early access on the 27th of January, so just a few days away. They have made available to the backers some new scenarios that I believe will be launching with early access on the 27th, and so we're going to be taking a first look at those. Specifically, they are two scenarios dealing with the Battle of Midway. To this point, we have played the Battle Generator. I didn't ever quite get back to that last fight we were fighting. It was bloody, my carriers were disabled, and frankly, I just didn't get back around to it. But then when I saw Midway come up, I was like, well, I don't really want to go finish my 2-carrier fiasco. But I am happy to jump into, you know, an 8-carrier fiasco, I suppose. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this looks like here. So here's the single scenarios. We've already played of Cranes and Patriots and Cranes, Patriots, and Friends, which are the Coral Sea scenarios. And the Midway scenarios, which are now available to folks who have the sort of the backers, if they were Kickstarter backers, and will come out with the early access release on the 27th, are Busy Morning at Point Luck and Busy Morning at Point Luck Hard. So Busy Morning at Point Luck, I believe, is like Midway's already under attack. You're commanding the carriers for the Americans, and you're trying to stop the Kudobutai. Busy Morning at Point Luck Hard is like, hey, what if the Japanese scout planes did their jobs, didn't have technical issues, and, you know, we're set up to succeed. So I suppose this one's going to be easier because presumably the Japanese are less likely to find you first, whereas this one's going to be harder because the Japanese are more likely to find you, if not first, at least early enough so that they won't have the whole, like, let's load the planes for one mission and unload them for another. Although I will say, I haven't really noticed in the Coral Sea scenarios rearming being like this extended, drawn-out thing. It seems like once planes get back on deck, they get rearmed pretty like, almost like that. Maybe that's just that scenario. Maybe it's, yeah, I don't know, but we'll see. There are multiple, you know, Midway scenarios. There's This Is It, which is not available yet. And then there's a bunch of hypotheticals as well. Battle wagons off Midway sounds fun. I don't know if this game is really set up to do surface action very well. I actually think War on the Sea does a really good job with surface battles. I don't know if this will. We did do a night surface action in one of the Coral Sea scenarios, but it didn't. I mean, maybe it was because it was nighttime and I couldn't see shit, but it didn't really seem. I mean, the game focuses on you being a carrier commander, so I'll leave it at that. Let's go ahead and do Busy Morning at Point Luck, though. I don't need to jump into the hypothetical hard one quite yet. So that's what we're going to take a look at here. So we've got Midway Island is under attack. A joint task force comprising 3 carriers is about to stop, or try to stop, the fearsome Kudobutai ahead of the planned invasion of the American outpost. Against the elite of Japanese naval aviation, is there any hope for the crews of the USS Yorktown, Enterprise, and Hornet, along with the courageous fighters of the besieged atoll? Relive the fateful morning that saw the tide turn and try your own luck. My 10-year-old is like awake and staring at the camera and rolling around. He's not screaming. He has been screaming like every hour on the hour. I think he's dealing with a little bit of sleep regression, so that's why I haven't been streaming as much lately. But we'll cross our fingers and hope that things stay well enough for us to get into this. Do I not get a video introduction? It's just the... Aww. I really like the video introduction for the Midway scenario, or for the Coral Sea scenario, and this is, we just get a lot of text. So it's 0300 hours. Okay, scenario duration 1 to 2 days. It's very cloudy. USS Yorktown, Enterprise, and Hornet, along with their escorts, forming Task Force 17, and the task... I'm not going to read all this, there's just too much text here, but... have gathered to lay a trap ahead of the enemy offense. I really hope they do the whole video, like, stand-up fancy intro for the other scenarios, like, as they get closer to release. It's going to be early access, so I understand that they may not have all of this buttoned up yet, but the Coral Sea intro is, like, one of the really appealing things of that scenario. If we're starting at 0300, earlier on June 3rd, the invasion force was set up by patrols operating from our base, subsequently attacked. Intel suggests the enemy carriers have not made themselves known just yet. Okay, northwest vector relative to Midway. Okay. Air units at Midway are operating on high alert. Preparing for the moment of truth. Here's a question. When the Midway aircraft attacked the carrier groups, Had they relayed the actual location of the carrier groups to the American carriers? Because, like, in a game like this, you're going to have pretty much perfect information between, like, what I see and what, like, the land-based air sees. Alright, this scenario focuses on the carrier engagement. As such, other task forces are not represented at this time, okay? So, lots of information here. Task Force 17 under Rear Admiral Fletcher has 1 carrier, Yorktown, 2 cruisers, 6 destroyers. Task Force 16 under Spurlins has 2 carriers, 6 cruisers, 9 destroyers. Midway Garrison, what about our air assets? That's what I'm mostly interested in. We've got 78 aircraft on Yorktown and Enterprise, 77 on Hornet. Okay, 230 carrier aviation. Approximately 120 aircraft are on Midway, including around 25 PBYs for search, 20 B-17 Flying Fortresses for high altitude, and a few B-26 Marauders. A full squadron of Marine SBDs and Vindicators. The fighter cover of F-2A Buffaloes and F-4F Wildcats has short range and shall be used primarily for the defense of operations. Enemy, the primary threat is the Kudu Butai, first mobile strike group, supposedly commanded by Vice Admiral Nagumo. Since the attack on Pearl, intel suggests it's centered around 4 heavy fleet carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, and Hiryu. These ships have proven again their ability to operate in a single cohesive tactical unit. They are likely screened by fast battleships of the Congo class, heavy cruisers, adequate number of destroyers. The enemy's main surface fleet might follow in its steps, but the goal is to have the battle reach a decisive conclusion before a surface encounter takes place. A separate invasion force sighted yesterday and a support force of cruisers are approaching from the southwest, but they shall be seen as bait. Do not be distracted. But I want to bomb the Yamato! Expect a force of roughly 200 to 250 naval aircraft of equal or superior performance. The enemy attack plan is estimated to rely on carrier aircraft beginning attacks at daylight. 1 or more carriers may take in close day support positions. Okay. What are the scenario options here? Sure, let's record the TAC view. If I want to make a polished video like someone like Wolfpack, we could do that. I guess that surface ship is missing a bow, but it makes it look like a submarine. Thank you very much for the gift. I appreciate it, dude. Alright, so it is 0300, so plenty dark. They like to start these missions at nighttime. Hey, look, I can see the stars on my planes, though. Look, it's like everything's... Wait. Why is the sun coming up at 0300? That seems a little early. Huh? Strange, strange. Does it tell me when sunrise is? Seems a little early for... Oh, now everything's dark. The game was confused. No, never mind. Well, it's not. It's not like winter. We're not in the Arctic. I'm confused. Anyway, so we've got Task Force 17 here with the Yorktown under our command. We've also got Task Force 16 down here. Looks like I can command both of them. Do I also command the bases? Sand Island Seaplane Base, Midway? It doesn't look like I can do anything with them. At least not right now. So 16 and 17 are trailing each other. 17's up front, 16's back behind. I'm assuming this red circle is the estimated area for the enemy. Where's Midway? Is this Midway down here? I don't see the ability to click on anything there. So we're going to rendezvous here at about 8 o'clock. Let's do some search aircraft here off of 17. New air search. Create air search. Do we want to do SBDs? They're faster, but that does rob me of my striking power. SBDs have worse range and speed. They'll take off at 400 hours. Okay, so maybe the sun's coming up earlier than I was thinking then, based on where we are. Carrier Task Force. Do 10? Do like most of their torpedo bomber group? Swing out this way. I don't know. Maybe we need to do SPDs. They've got much better range. Also, they're just faster. Although I don't know that I need to do 10. That feels like that would be overkill. So let's... Is 8 aircraft enough? I really don't want to miss them, and it is very cloudy. That's my main concern. We'll take off roughly here. They're going to be off the Yorktown. Task Force 17 seaplanes would be interesting. Alright, so we'll do that in queue. We'll also do a new air search with the Task Force 17 seaplanes. I've not gotten to use the seaplanes before. What's their range? They've got pretty damn good range, actually. We don't need to search all the way out there, I don't think. I don't know how many SOC 1s I've got. The cruisers each have like 2, right? So we've got 8, it looks like. So we can kind of stagger the search here. So hopefully someone will spot them. Can I do a air search from a different task force? No, not that. Let's do TF-17 seaplanes. The second group should have more, I would think. Yep. Ooh, that's a lot. We should definitely, with all the aircraft we're putting up here, we better see these fuckers. They better be in this window. I kind of want to watch them prepare the seaplanes. They do a good job of, like, showing... So I can't... It doesn't look like I command the aircraft on Midway, because I have no option to select them. But I really would like to see, when the sun comes up, what the actual seaplane operations are on the escorts. I feel like that could be cool to see. So I think the aircraft are supposed to start taking off at like 4. A little after 4, I guess. I don't see Catalinas. It does say there's Catalinas on Midway, but I guess I don't command those aircraft. I don't think my SBDs will drop bombs if they're in search. Maybe you can. I didn't see that as an option. I wasn't really looking, though. But I don't... If I do an air search and I do SBDs, do I have the option to do? It doesn't give me the option to edit their loadout as far as I can see. Alright, 430. Alright, so we'll just sort of cruise along here as these ships follow their particular courses and get closer. We'll take a look when it gets a little bit lighter out. Yes, the ships are moving. They'll get here at 8 o'clock. You can see the time that they're moving. They're moving at 15 knots. I suppose we can make it move faster at 30, but I think 15 is fine. Okay. Okay, so the Sea Island... Alright, so I don't command these guys, by the looks of it. But there are PBYs that are going out off Midway from the island sea base. So I can't actually control these guys. These missions all just popped up here. But the Catalinas are going. And so these guys are green. Our friendly aircraft, when they take off, will be blue. So these guys are green because I guess they're friendlies, but they're AI friendlies, I assume. So if we want to, like, go down and follow one of them, I don't know what we'll be able to see. It might be too dark. You can hear them. There they are. Ooh, look at that. There's Midway back here. Go find them, boys. Can you hear me over the audio? It doesn't look like it doesn't. I've got the auto turned down enough. You should still be able to hear me over the roar of the engine. A PBY flew into your local air show. That's pretty cool. You might be able to in other scenarios. The game really is focusing on you being a carrier commander, so there's an element of me that's like, it makes sense that you can't control them, but I also feel like you shouldn't be able to see the enemy then, because, like, the American carriers didn't get reports on the Japanese carriers from Midway, did they? I don't think so. Maybe they did, I don't know. Maybe that's who spotted them. I'm trying to remember. It's been a hot minute since I've looked into the battle in any kind of detail. They got reports on Midway's being bombed, absolutely, yes. Which movie? The good one? Well, I don't know if... I always thought the 1970s movie was the good one, but I watched it for the first time with certain other people who I will not name, and they were very much like, this is trash, which, like, I get it. There's, like, scenes of Iowa-class battleships firing their broadsides, like, when Japanese planes are attacking, as if that's, like, an anti-aircraft gun, or as if that was there. It's a very common, like, 70s sin and trope, but I still like that film more than I like the modern CGI fest. We're playing Midway, that's what's up. Oh, he did. Okay. I remember the 70s movie where they were Midway scouts. Okay. Well, these guys are getting their flight. I mean, their planes are off before ours are. I really want to jump in and look at the fleet missions, though. Here, let's see. Let's look for the cruisers who are going to be launching. Can we see anything yet? There's the sun barely starting to peak. They're starting to spot the planes. Are they going to launch off the catapult here? Do they just get to launch straight off? I guess they probably do. They probably only float them when they land. Here you can see the scout planes on this cruiser. I really love the lighting at night, or like the sunrise and everything like that, although it's not always the most cinematic thing to be like, I've got to like backlight the ship so I can see anything. So these guys are in queue? Do they have to wait? They'll take off at 4:30. Okay. Gaston. You're probably not going to find them down here. Fisher might. Man, look how cloudy it is. They're like flying through a cloud. All right. Sun's starting to come up, and you can see them moving the planes around. Now, we didn't have Hornet or Enterprise in the demo. We just had the Lexington-class carriers. Right? Or no, we had Yorktown, but we didn't have... So we had one Yorktown class, but we didn't have the Enterprise specifically in the Hornet, which was... Hornet's like a total... Enterprise was a Yorktown class, right? Or was it an individual class? I can't remember. Yeah, listen, I want to put as many stouts as I can without meaningfully impacting my strike package. 10 SBDs down is... I think I only did 8, didn't I? But that's still, you know, what, a fourth of the air wing? Maybe a little more? Or one of the squadrons. There's 2 SBD squadrons, right? But certainly it impacts the strike package, but I think it's a reasonable sacrifice. I mean, we've got... In TF-17, we've got 34 dive bombers, so that's, what, 1/4? And then TF-16, we've got, you know, 67 dive bombers. So all told, we've got a pretty good chunk of dive bombers. Like, yes, 8 could impact the results, I suppose, but... I wouldn't understand why these guys would be in queue, though. Like, if the other guys are spotting, shouldn't these guys just be off the catapult right away? These guys are in Q2, but it's like TF-16, you're just all going. Maybe it's not light enough. This game does look good in early morning or late evening. Sun going down over the horizon bits. Makes me want to join the Navy. In the Navy. The Wasp was the largest deviation. Didn't the Wasp have like some weight distribution issues that contributed to her sinking? Oh, wait. Did we see movement? No. Just a shadow. I want to see them launch. Is there a difference between the color here? Wasp had tree restrictions. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Japanese fleet carriers were like, what, converted other ships? Do they just shoot off the catapult? I'm really curious what the retrieval process looks like. Does the cruiser just stop and fall out of formation? Dong, 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 dong. Okay. These guys are taking off. Oh, these socks already launched? Did they all launch? Oh, no, they didn't. Look, they're turning the catapult out to the side. Be cool if I could see more. He's up. You can barely see the biplane out this way. They're launching this guy off the other side. There he is. They're gonna go. Vroom! Away from the cruiser they go. That's cool. Yeah, but the issue with the easily converted to the carriers is that posed problems. Like, it wasn't the Hiryu, for example, for the number of planes they tried to cram onto her, like, the hull was way too narrow and small for what they were trying to do with it. Being able to operate as a carrier doesn't mean it's necessarily the wisest decision. Whee! Going vertical. This little buddy's going. Alright, what about the Catalinas? Where are they at? Good old PBYs. Please, somebody spot the Japanese. You guys are well into your search arc. No one's hitting Midway yet, as far as I know. Can we see if we go in the 3D mode, like the island here? Can't really make much out. Here we go. Good old military barracks. Looks like a hangar here. Nice naval seawall. Radar installations, I assume, right here. These towers. I assume these are like watchtowers or beach defenses, maybe? Like, I don't know. They look like lifeguard posts. Is this the runway right here? There's a bit of a bend to it. I don't think that's the runway. We'll see more when it gets lighter. Alright, air operations are underway. Our aircraft are airborne. We didn't even look at the carriers as they launched. That's fine. We've looked at the aircraft off the carriers in previous videos. At the wake of the ships down there? It looks like it. It's dark. What can you see? Alright. I guess we just speed up a little bit and see when we start spotting some stuff. I can't imagine those are lifeguard towers. Midway doesn't exactly have a large, thriving tourist, you know, whatever. Yeah, wasn't it, what was the massive carrier with the armored flight deck? Or no? Started with an S, right? Shinao or something? Wasn't she a converted Yamato-class battleship? Wait. Our scouts report an enemy surface force bearing 154, range 227 miles. Where? Carrier force bearing 154, 226 miles. Where? Give me the report on the map. Also, which scout? Why do I not see anything? It's obviously the Catalinas. It's from Intel? Not... Okay, so those are comms Intel. Does that mean the enemy's launching their morning strike on Midway, probably? If there's, like, radio chatter? RDF, maybe? And now for a break for our sponsors. Heineken. Sorry, just kidding. I'm being dumb. I think there's a military... I think there's a runway. It's maintained. I don't know if there's any units based out of Midway. But I think there have been a few cases where, like, airliners have made, like, emergency landings at Midway. Would have been a W sponsor. Yeah. If I could pull Heineken, that would be a W sponsor for sure. Our scouts report an enemy... Whoa, this doesn't look good. Have we been spotted? Or is this one of our friendlies that we just, like... Pause. What is it? Oh, I can't see it anymore. Where'd it go? Where is it? I know this is a little gamey, but I'm trying to figure out... Here it is. I see the shadow. Okay. Whew. That's one of our recon planes. Stupid radar. Getting me all confused. Sand Island runway's open. Eastern Island runway's closed. Okay. Read your advice. I might be a little... There's a bunch of comments between what you posted and what I see. I suppose we could plan our raid. New strike. Deferred departure. Offensive power. Early spotting. I don't have a target yet, but... We'll go with 10 escorts. It's annoying that I have to click every single one of these damn things. Can't I just do everything? Does this... And can I launch the entire task force, or... Was it just one carrier at a time? It looks like it's just one carrier at a time. Yeah. Okay, that's a little annoying. Alright, we'll do 10 escorts per... And we'll just do all this. We don't know where the range is yet, because we don't know where they're going. Or are you telling me that, you know where the enemy is? Seems a little cheaty, doesn't it? Alright, just in case, we'll go with endurance. But I'd be worried the torpedo bombers wouldn't have range either. Only the Americans at this time. I don't know if they plan to change that or not, but... So I can green light and then give them a target later? Enemy task force spotted. I'm assuming those are the enemy carriers. We will wait a few minutes because everybody's going to be spotting for the next 20 anyway. I want to know, stability-wise, how the game handles it. Now it claims it's a surface task force. But it says there's 15 ships there, so unless that's the invasion task force, which is possible, I'm inclined to launch on it. Nope, carriers. 1 CV, 1 battleship, 20 ships. Okay, we don't have to issue the orders to attack for a few more minutes because nobody's ready to take off till 5:20 anyway, so we'll see if we get any better intel before we issue the orders. At 5:20, 8 minutes left of spotting, we will issue the attack orders. I don't like going without the torpedo bombers. I feel like going in with 1 boot off. Alright, so that should be everybody. All the missions should have what I want. So, early spotting, deferred departure, so we go in with a full fist. Yorktown. Early spotting, deferred departure. Hornet. Early spotting, deferred departure. Okay, good. Everybody has a target. Contact 34. Yep. They'll hit Midway before I reach the carriers? Okay, well. That's fine. 10 plus aircraft? What is this? Midway's launching their nav strikes. Yeah! B-17, boys. Did this model have the ball turret? Also, it's not glass. That's like looks more like a B-29 turret. That does not look right. Not to be nitpicky. They had it in the early Fs? Okay, well, either way, the turret doesn't look glassy enough. Whoa, that's pretty maneuverable. What is this B-17 doing? That is a sharp bank. Alright, what else we got? We got some B-26s. I just love the B-26. Can I just say that? I'm a big B-26 fan. I think I blame Hauser for that. But I think they're cool. Just remember, guys, everybody needs to know the B-17 won the Battle of Midway, okay? They're the ones who smashed the enemy carriers. You may not believe me, but they believe it. Alright, Yorktown spotting. B-26, pretty solid aircraft. Maybe better in Europe than in the Pacific, but still. They're a little sexy, you know? What do you gotta say? They're pretty sweet. Where are the escorts? Where are your escorts, buddy? I don't see them. How far away from the where did the carrier's way over there? You guys are... Seems like you're out of position, but what do I know? You're kind of out that way. Why are they pushing these aircraft forward? Oh, they gotta free one of the elevators. There, I can see this guy's escorts. I can see both carriers. They're both just hanging out. In close formation. They're like, hey, remember when America could build things? I'm just kidding. We still make a lot of stuff. It's not the same. Alright. Look at these boys, ready for action. Okay, so aircraft should be taking off in 10 minutes. Yorktown's in 10. I'm not sure that they'll really be ready there. I feel like the estimates are off a lot. Enterprise and Hornet are in 11 minutes. It's going to be a lot of aircraft in the air for this game to model. Eastern Island is airborne and underway. Strike package. I'm assuming those are the 17s. Well, the planes aren't spotted yet, but I will hit the takeoff button when they're ready. I'm a little worried that that report is out of date. PBY, you should have stayed and shadowed. Although maybe you got shot down. Uh-oh. Bogeys. Many. Here comes the strike on Midway. Dun 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 dun. Horse. That is a lot of bogeys. Look at them all. Can you hear me? God, this is the thing. So, like, I do worry that this game will be a little bit repetitive and that the individual scenarios don't offer enough opportunity for playing differently. However, when you get moments like this, it's like you're watching fucking Tora or something. Or better. The Zeros are not all escorting the Midway strike. We know that. We know that, guys. Didn't they technically leave half their aircraft behind? Isn't this only half? Many planes heading Midway. These are the dive bombers. Actually, are these torpedo bombers with bombs? Their bombs look different, but I guess they're maybe they have different bombs for striking an airfield. Contact fuses. Okay. Alright, where's our missions tag here? Ready at 5:39. I can't hit takeoff yet. Okay. Soon. I'm not scrambling. Midway's scrambling. To be fair, I caused yeah, I was like, let's have a strike. Let's not have a strike. Let's have a strike. Let's not have a strike. At least I didn't tell him to plan for a naval attack and then a land attack and then a naval attack and then a land attack. In my defense, where's the huge moon? That's not a moon. That's not a moon. It's a space station. I don't see the moon. All right, so they're about to engage, maybe? Or unless these are probably not the scrambles. These are probably the air attacks. Heading out. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the B-17. I hate the whole, if you click it, it like selects it, but then it instantly brings you away. Army B-17. There they are. Well, the boys. Gaining altitude. Well, don't worry, we'll bomb through the clouds and smash them. This is the Midway scenario, bloody. Hey look, our scouts are reporting more stuff. The top turret looks fine. The bottom turret just doesn't look right. Unless it's a version of the turret that is, like, controlled via, like, someone in the belly who's not actually in the turret. Maybe, did they have a version of that early on, maybe? Looks kind of like a B-24 nose cone, but what do I know? I ain't no rivet counter. Yeah, that doesn't look like the Sperry, that's for sure. Alright, are the fighters up yet? Is the scramble still spotting? There we go, boys. They're on the tarmac. The buffaloes are getting ready to go. Quick, boys, quick! Whoa. Apparently the water's directly below. Here, it's the runway. It's the water. It's the runway. Who's ready? They're taking off in pairs. Get those buffaloes up. The pride of the Pacific. Don't worry, these are clearly state-of-the-art fighter aircraft. They can go toe-to-toe with the Zero if anyone can. Every play's a crapshoot, good to know. Well, the first group they flew in a pair, and this guy's flying solo. Maybe it's because he's part of the previous three. So maybe our buffaloes will fare better than the historic buffaloes. No, we're flying away. So, like, this is a pretty cool looking island, can I just say? Look at all these aircraft. These are, what are they? Free cam me. What are those? They don't look like SPDs to me. Maybe they are. Just look at them all. Ready to get destroyed on the tarmac. I didn't realize there were quite so many aircraft on Midway. There's the two islands here. You've got the, what is it, Sand Island and Eastern Island, or whatever they are. So the seaplanes are probably over here, with the regular aircraft over here. Anyway, for the P-40s to get on the island or something? I mean... Anyway, sure, anything's possible, right? Alright, boys, I don't think this one's gonna be good for us. But you got a mission. Is this the only battle where buffaloes featured prominently on the American side? Does anybody know? And by feature prominently, I mean, like, got obliterated. My carriers are doing fine. We're still spotting. Looks like maybe they're ready. Let's issue the order, shall we? Still, they're not done? I can't issue the order to attack? I'm confused by this not... It doesn't look like it will let me attack. I don't understand. They look like they're done. It says they're still spotting. Enterprise and... Yeah, these guys are not done. Oh no, they still got to spot the fighters. I've still got a few fighters to spot, so they're not done. My bad. Little do the Japanese know that their doom is already at hand. I knew the Brits had them at Malaya, and in the Singapore campaign they were prominent. I was thinking mainly from the American side. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. Bears353, I'm glad you lost. Thank you for the follow, though. Checkpoints, thank you for the follow, and KZ Kuna, thank you for the follow. So they definitely are throwing these buffaloes up in complete spray and pray mode. They're all coming in like not in the formation. It's like just groups of 3. Like just one in front of the other. I will say the Buffalo's got a little... Oh, there's the huge moon. The Buffalo's got a little bit of a P-47 look to it to me in certain angles. Just that big-ass engine in the middle there. Yeah, but I'm telling them when to launch, JD. Alright, they're waiting for the takeoff order. How long do they wait? That's a question. Does anybody know the answer to that? They're spotted. Go! Maybe I should have double-checked that the target was in the right spot. It looks like they should be about on target. Alright. Go! Go! Alright, we've given the green light. All aircraft are launching. Let me take a quick look at... Oh, they're already engaged? No, those are the... Oh, they're turning into the wind now? They weren't turned into the wind before? They waited till I ordered the strike? Okay. Wait, Brewster went out of business during the war? And they even got the head start with all those pre-war orders. They did well in the Finnish War, right? The Winter War? We've already been live for an hour, and I'm, in my incredible efficiency, I'm only just getting the first aircraft in. There they go. It's fun to watch aircraft take off in this game. You'll probably see a little bit of one off the... Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sky. They're gonna be like little angry buzzards. We ordered a delayed departure, so they should all go in one big strike package. Engaging target. Where are they? Any chance you guys can get in there and do some damage to the carriers? Or not the carriers, but their air wings? Take out a few bombers? I don't see anything. Hey, there's an island out there. Is that Midway? Are they the bad guys down there? Oh, those are more of my fighters. Those are my boys. So, did the scramble fly past the enemy bombers and then they're coming back? Oh no, they're not there yet. They're still flying out to them. What island do they see on the horizon? I don't even know. There's the moon! Let us bank and pray. Yeah, I know. Tap. Tap. I can see a tactical view of nothing right now. I can zoom out a little bit. It's like really closely linked to where you're... Okay, so there's the bad guys over here. What are we doing here, boys? You gonna go get the enemy, or are we just gonna fly around in circles? Looks like some of the other fighters are linked up, though. There's 4 aircraft altogether here, 5 down there, so... Alright, so we're forming up for an intercept, maybe. Maybe that's what we're doing. Because it looks like we've got our fighters in a group now. Circling and waiting to intercept the enemy, maybe, as they come up. Because we're still ahead of them. I believe. Oh, a few of these are F4Fs. So that's engaging enemy target, but you are not engaging anything yet. So they're searching for the target. These guys are engaging the target? Engaging what target? There's no one here. I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. Okay, Anakin. We could use some dark side energy right now, though. Angels 10. Alright, Romeo to Love Leader. Your target is now Vector 330, 20 miles, Angels 10. Which would be a cool thing to say if I had any formation that was called Love Leader. None of the that's one of my major gripes. The radio comms on the right here do not match the formation names on the left. Alright guys, we've been going for an hour. I know we are about to get into action. This was mostly a scouting and reconnaissance or episode, but we'll see how things play out in the next episode. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.